I'm Melissa.
I'm Patty.
And we are
El
Efecto Podcast. Welcome back, guys. Episode 22.
Bitch. Yeah, I literally was like, what episode is this? Oh, shit.
Episode 22, guys.
Damn.
Yeah, it's going by quick. It's going by quick.
I'm like, I feel like we recorded episode 21 such a long time ago. But it's only been a week.
Yeah. We hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. Let us know your thoughts. I know we had, oh my god, there was a comment that stood up to me.
Oh, no, okay, so Amanda said, you're not gonna eat? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, that bitch called, she literally, like, sent me an audio message when she was listening, and she was, like, crying.
Yeah.
Because she knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, bitch, there were so many times when we were, like, recording that I, like, would almost say a name, and I'd be like, wait, I can't say this. But, like, she knew exactly what I was talking about. She said that when Alanis heard that, like, she was like, oh, have you watched it? And they were together.
Oh,
and she was like, no, not yet. And then when Alanis got to that part, Alanis just looked up at her.
Like,
oh. And they knew, like, if you know, you know.
Yeah. And then your Diana, she was like,
oh my
ladies.
gosh, bro, I didn't even, like, I that one, like, I felt like, aw, like, the fact that she even made a comment, because, so, one of my cousins, my older cousins, we were, like, having a little moment, and she was like, oh my god, like, when, she's like, I don't, she's a mom, she has a lot going on, and she was like, when I get the chance to, like, tune in, I tune in, and she's like, when I see you guys talking, she's like, I look at you, and I'm like, oh my god, like, I see so much of, like, myself in you talking about me. And then she was like, when you were talking about, like, fuck that, she was like, that's me.
Yeah. She was, like, telling us, she's like, no, she's like, fuck that. She's like, I love that you guys said that and like all of this, but no, yeah, that one was cool. It was nice to, like, hear the positive feedback and that you guys did enjoy that.
Yeah, but it was good getting, like, the feedback and the fact that, like, we're not the only ones that think like this. And again, like, going back, like, we're not saying that, like, every tradition is bad or whatever, but there are some that, like, are kind of toxic and kind of, like, can hold us back. So we just wanted to have that conversation, and the fact that we were able to, like, extend that with people in our circle, even just other people that, like, resonated with it, was cool.
Yeah, for sure. And and this week's episode, guys, as always, we're just gonna catch up, kind of go over our week and just catch up with you guys and what we've been going through lately. But yeah, how was your week, Patty?
Week was good. It was a big week. It's graduation season, and bitch, I didn't realize how many of, like, my nieces and nephews graduated this year. Yeah. So first and foremost, my nephew George graduated high school, guys. Like, that's so fucking weird.
So
like,
crazy.
I feel like we were just at his, like, middle school graduation. So the fact that he's graduated high school this week was crazy. We, like, celebrated him on Friday with, like, a big party. It was cool. And then in his graduating class, I had 2 other nieces that also graduated, and we celebrated one of the other ones, Mary Ava, yesterday. So that's why my voice sounds like this, because puro pinche party, like, literally non-stop. But yeah, and then I had, like, some of my other cousins' kids graduating middle school, like, moving on from 5th grade to 6th grade.
Yeah,
like,
I saw all of them.
Yeah, there was, like, a lot of them. It's just crazy, like,
yeah.
I don't know, especially for the ones like George, Mary Eva, and Angela that are graduating high school. Like, I remember being in that moment and, like, thinking when I was 18, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm such an adult. Like, I'm going to college, or, like, I'm on this next chapter of my life. And that was kind of, I still knew that I wasn't, like, grown, but I was like, oh, people are going to take me seriously. Like, I'm an adult, blah, blah, blah. But I was humbled ASAP the minute I got to college, because I'm like, there's still so much that, like, I need to learn. Like, when you were a senior and you were going to graduate high school, like, what, like, do you remember, like, that feeling?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, and I was thinking about that too, because obviously all the graduations coming up, And I thought about it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe like George is graduating high school.
It's
That's
weird.
like, yeah, like that hit me. I was like, holy shit, like I'm getting older. And it was funny because I posted his like picture with his cap and gown, with his cap and graduation photos on my Instagram. And so many like of my friends or like acquaintances were like liking it, and I know like Vanessa and a few others were like, "Is that Georgie high school?" Like, no way. And it's just crazy because just time flies. But no, I remember it was the last if you want to animal Miss Musqua's class, the last of it. It was so funny because, oh my God, like our last senior project was so freaking horrible. It was so hard, but it was also like once we finished that and we presented, I was like, dude, I am done. I cannot believe this. Like it's done. And then I remember I went back the next day to pick up like my cap and gown, and then my parents, it was time to like do it. But the emotions, I was just like, oh my God, like, I'm finally graduating high school. It was bittersweet because it was a smaller school, so we were all honestly generally like pretty cool with each other. So just the fact that we were all like moving or like going to different places. Most of our friends, one was San Diego, I was going to San Francisco, a few others were going to Santa Cruz, like just everywhere. We were all kind of like, oh damn, like, this is like it hit. And I didn't like I think in my head I was like, oh my God, literally in like 2 months I'm moving. And I remember I was like, oh my God, I was like, I am moving. Like that was crazy to me. But I think the main thing was just like, damn, like I this whole time, and finally like high school graduation is here, and it's time to like
I know. I think that's the thing. Like it's something that you always think about, but like when you're little, it's like, oh, that's such a long time from now. Like I remember like when my brother graduated high school, I was in 7th grade. So like I still had a year before 8th grade graduation, and like in middle school we're like, oh my gosh, can't wait to get to high school. Like, it's gonna be so much fun, blah blah blah. And then like once you're in high school, you're like, I can't wait to graduate. Like, get me the fuck out of here. And it was just like so crazy. And but like I don't know, it's just weird. Like it's still weird because I'm like, I still see them as like little kids. So I'm like are they ready?
No, literally, like how you said, as little kids. And it's funny because now I'm like, damn, that's how like our cousins, I was like, what do you mean they're graduating high school, But no, it's crazy. It's a new milestone. It's new, like you're moving on from that and starting a new chapter.
I was like thinking about, I like wrote in like the card I gave George, I like wrote something, but I'm curious to hear like your opinion, like knowing like now, like you went through college, you graduated, and just like now you've been working for a few years, like I guess like what is something like a piece of advice for someone that's graduating high school and like going on to the next chapter, whether it's university, junior college, vocational, whether you're not going to school, you're going to work, you're starting a business, you're traveling. Like first and foremost, I do want to say like once you graduate, like truly it's up to you to do like what you want, and that's okay. Like I don't think you need to know what you want to do, but just like curious, like what would you like, what advice would you give?
I think that's a good question. I think the advice that I would give is always like, and it's as cliche as it sounds, it's like always believe in yourself, and whatever you put your mind to it, just believe in it 100% and believe in you, and you'll get it done. Whether it's like you just said, graduating college, going to university, or not, like working, it's like or starting a business, as long as you believe in yourself and you put your all into it, like it'll get done, and just believe in yourself. That I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, I agree. I that's kind of what I wrote in George's card. I was like, now it's truly you against you. Like, and I feel like when you're in school, you're always like, naturally you're being compared to the other students and ranked, so it's natural to think, oh, I need to, if this person, we're the same age and they're here, I'm here. But I think in college is when I realized like it's not like all freshmen only take these freshman classes. There are some, but like it was my freshman year, I was taking classes with like seniors, and I think that was like a big thing for me, like, oh, it's not like it was before. So I think going off what you said, kind of like 100% believe in you, and also it's like don't turn down opportunities. Like, try anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing that I wish I did a little more of in college, whether it was taking like random classes
Mm-hmm.
or just like going to different like clubs and trying to figure stuff out. Learn as many skills as you can, take any opportunity. It's gonna be hard. It is like, it's gonna be challenging, but I feel like the lessons, you're gonna walk away with so much more. And just be open-minded, because you're gonna meet people from all walks of life. You can learn something from everyone. And as long as you believe in yourself, like, you can truly do anything. Like, especially nowadays, like, and you can do anything.
And I think, like, going back to that too, and just believing in yourself, it's like, at this time, and at that age, and just overall through that whole stage, you're always gonna have and listen to people's opinions. And it's like, and how you said, I was like, you're gonna be compared to, a lot of people, jobs now, you're gonna be competing, like, for the position, whatever it is. But it's like, don't give up, and again, just believe in yourself. And if you don't get the position, whatever it is, or like, it's okay. And like you just said, there's another opportunity ahead, or there's someone else. And at the end of the day, like, if that person, okay, you didn't get it, this other job, if you do get that, then that's just meant for you. And you know, it happened. So
and that's, to that point, like, what can you learn from anytime you hear a no, it's not the end of the world. If anything, it's a good thing, because you're gonna learn from it. Because then it's like, okay, like, what are you gonna take from that to work on? Like, I think that's a big piece of advice. Like, any opportunity that you don't get, in my eyes, is still an opportunity, because you can take something from it. If it's a job that you don't get, you can ask them, like, oh, like, I would love feedback. Like, is there, like, specific reason that I wasn't, like, fit for this? And they will, it'll be like, oh shit, like, you're kind of self-aware. And they'll give you feedback, take it, sit with it, and be like, okay, apply that for the next one. And that can be with anything. Like, I think asking for feedback overall is a big thing. But
and that, guys, take that with you for the rest of your life. You know, it's like, that applies to everyday life and to, like, every stage of your life. So, but no, like, I'm like thinking back, I was like, damn, it's crazy. Like, it's been like, I'm like, oh my god, my 10-year the 10-year reunion would be in like 2 years, which is crazy. I'm like,
mine was last year.
I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, mine was last year, which is insane. I was class of 2012.
Yeah, in 2015. So it goes by
crazy.
Fast.
Yeah. That's the thing. It goes by so
fast.
And one part of me is like, damn, like, they didn't really get a true high school experience, because we were in a pandemic for I think they were online for 2 years or 2.5 years. Like, I think the first year they did it, I don't know if the whole year they did it in person, then 2 years they did it online, and then senior year finally
came. Oh my god, dude, sometimes I forget about the pandemic. I'm like, I think about that, I'm like, dude, you're right. And I honestly,
you're desensitized.
I know, and I think that's also why, like, it's going by fast. Like, those 2 years went by so fast. Like, it's crazy. No, but that's true. Like, kids at that age didn't get, like, the real high school experience.
But anyways, what about you?
This week, it was just honestly work. And then, besides work, I mean, I had, like, George's graduation, so that was nice. But guys, this week, honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest, it was hard. I was going through it. But I did, like I mentioned in the last episode, like, I was gonna take a day, like, to do I was gonna take time out of the day to do something for me and something that I like and enjoy. I've been going to the beach a lot, and I've been making that time. And if I can't, like, I'll go on a walk, or I'll just, like, the other day, just clean my room, blast my music, and I was, like, dancing with Kane. I sent Patty a video.
Dude. I was fucking, because I had sent her a TikTok of this guy there on a farm, and he's dancing with, like, a little vaca. And they're, like, dancing, and I was like, bitch, literally you and Kane. And then I was somewhere. Oh, we were at dinner the night of George's graduation. And she sends me the video. I show my mom. My mom goes, ay, güey, tiene tumbado el perro.
No, but I'm like, yeah, it was nice.
It was so cute.
Yeah, I'm like, that day I got home really late from work, and I was so like tired and just wanted to sleep, but I was like, okay, I need to clean my room just to like feel better, and then I just put music, and it ended up like just being my little therapy for the night. So I didn't go to the beach or anything, but it still worked. It still worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that, I mean, guys, we've said this all the time, but work.
No, literally. And this week, work, thankfully, typically work is like a little different every day, but this week truly we had like a specific task that we have to chip away at, and that's going to be our life for the next like, I want to say like 2 months. So it was kind of nice that like I had the weekend, but also a bitch is tired.
Yeah,
bro, like I got 4 hours of sleep Friday, and then I had to get up and like look for something to wear. Then I went to the party, Marieva's party. I slept in, for me, I didn't get up until like 9.
Yeah. No, I know. I was telling Patty the other day, I was like, dude, I'm just tired.
I'm tired of this, girl.
I know.
That's too damn bad.
God. I was like, I'm just tired. But yeah, besides that, just been chilling.
Yeah, but I think Melly has been like on a huge kick about like, she's like, because of that, like I'm tired. It's like I have to do something for me, and I'm like, bitch, you are preaching to the choir, because I feel like that has been my thing since like 2020, like little things, like, and it comes and goes. Like there's times where like I'm very consistent on what I want to do for myself, and you've been on a big kick, and I'm like, yeah, bitch, what? I was like, the smallest thing, literally the smallest thing, like you like going to the beach, but if you can't make it to the beach, cleaning your room, blasting your music. So we did want to kind of talk a little bit about that, like just how we are practicing self-care, self-love, kind of just like on an everyday basis, because this is, guys, literally I think we talk about this topic, if not every day, every week, 100%.
Yeah.
For the last, I want to say like 3-4 years.
Yeah, no,
we're always talking about this. Always.
Yeah. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine recently too, and same thing. We were trying to catch up, and then I saw that she was at the beach, and I was like, oh my god! I was like, the one day I didn't make it, and that's usually like the pathway that I take. She was like, yeah, dude. She's like, I saw a dog like similar to Kane, and immediately like I ran over to see if it was yours. Like, oh damn, that's not Melly. And I was like, yeah, I didn't get a chance to go today, but whatever, we were just talking. I was like, I've been going there. And I told you just the situation, you know? And she was like, no, yeah. She's like, it's crazy how life just goes by so fast that you literally forget to just take time for you. And you need, like, there's times where you just have to take a step back and do it. And that's why she was there that day. She was like, I was just kind of like burning out. And she's like, I need to take a step back, do something that I enjoy, and that's for me. So that's why she was there. And I'm just like, damn, like, you know, I'm like, obviously I know everyone goes through that, but I was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, like that's like life just moves so fast that you do have to take a step back.
And I think that's when especially when your life is so routine. Yeah. Like we work Monday through Friday, you kind of do the same thing. It goes by faster, because I've said ever since I started working, I'm like, the years have never gone by so fast. Like, even when I was in school, I think because I was so like, oh my god, I have so much shit I have to do, like stress and just things were always happening. And like I would get breaks. So like I would get like a winter break, a spring break, a summer break. Yeah. I don't know. It just didn't feel as fast. But the minute I started working, that's when I noticed the years flying by. Like, guys, we are in the middle of June, and I've said this to you. When I started working, I was like, bitch, the years go by way too fast. We're in June.
I know, June, and it's what, like, we're already,
today's the 10th.
Like, oh my god, like I'm like oh my gosh,
today's the 11th. Like, it's fucking crazy.
It's so crazy.
But to your point, like, in order, like, and I literally told Belly this right before we started recording. I was like, bitch, the work is always gonna be there. Yeah. All the shit we're dealing with is always, regardless, it's always gonna be there. So it's either you carve out a little bit of time for yourself, for whatever it is. Yeah. And I'm like, once you make that a priority and part of your routine, at least it's something that you look forward to. it's crazy how like you're like, wow, I could still do everything else and also do this. And I truly think the reason we're able to do everything else still is because we're fueling ourselves. So like I would, when I first started, obviously the gym is like the thing for me. When I first started going, I was like, fuck, I was like, how am I gonna make this work? I was like, literally, I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out my schedule. I'm like, fuck, if I go after work, like, oh my God. And sometimes like work, I would stay late. And I'm like, fuck, then I have to be up early. How's this gonna work? Yeah. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go before work. And it's a bitch to wake up. But once I got into my routine, I started noticing like I have so much more energy to start my day. My head is clear. I get shit done. And people are like, and naturally, I've said this before, I like don't second guess myself. My head is clearer. Just overall, it works out. I'm like, okay, it can happen. And then when I don't have it, I have like a mental breakdown like I did a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I need to prioritize me again. So like that's like one thing I do, like the gym. And there's days where I don't want to fucking go. My alarm will go off and I'm like, I'm not gonna go. And then in my mind I'm like, get up. And then I'll just like take the covers off and I'm like, you're like, okay, it's time. I'm like, even if it's for an hour, no pasa nada. Like,
and then later you're gonna be so happy that you did it. Yeah. No, and I haven't told you yet, but guys, it's funny because my boss lately, because of the time, again, I like said this, like work is just very busy, and my boss, obviously her position and title, she has a lot going on, but we were like sitting in her office, we were having a conversation, and she was like, okay, she said, let's just take a moment to like not talk about work, catch me up on your life, whatever. We were just talking. She's like, I am going through it and like all of this. And I was like, look, I'm gonna give you some advice that my cousin, and by this time, by now, she already knows who Patty is. She already knows her name. And I was like, I'm gonna give you some advice that my cousin Patty gives me. She's like, okay, let me hear it. And then I was just like, you need to take time for you. You got to do something for you because your life is just crazy. That it's like, I'm like, you're doing all of this, you still have so much going on, and I'm like, you are gonna burn out, you're gonna explode. I was like, you're already seeing it. I'm like, just take time for you, take the day for you. I'm like, leave the office. I'm like, go home. Like, I'm like, your team's got this, we got the weekend, like it's fine, And it was just funny because she was like, but I'm like, no, I know. I was like, trust me. I'm like, and I was like, no, I know, trust me. I was like, you know that I'm like that. And then right after, she's like, you know what? And she was like, okay, let me think about it. Whatever, I go back, or touch base is over, I go back. I'm in another touch base, and then I see her, and in that meeting room, it's like a clear wall, so it's just like a window. So I'm in the meeting, I'm sitting like on the opposite side, so I have direct like view. And she was like, I'm leaving. And I was like, yes. But it was just so funny. And then after she texted me, she's like, you're right. She's like, I'm leaving. She's like, if everyone else wants to leave early, just tell them to leave early. She's like, let's just go. But yeah, it was just funny, and because I was like, I was like, I'm gonna give you some advice, and my cousin Patty tells me, and she's like, but I'm like, no, I know, trust me.
You're like, trust me.
I know, I was like, trust me. I was like, but just get out. I was like, it's coming to an end. Like I said, this week's gonna finally get a little more chill, but I was like, it's done. Just go.
And you know what's fucking crazy? It's like that's just the reason that the fact that we feel guilty for taking time off. Time that is like hours to take off, and literally if you do not take your time off, eventually that shit adds up to a point where the company will be like, you got to take some time off because you have a lot of vacation. But it's like this country is very much like go. When you guys go out of the country, the way of life is way more relaxed,
so chill.
Like no one is, or even other parts of this country where like it's people always say like it's too fast here. We're always in a rush, and we're in a like what for what? Like what are we in a rush for? I would much rather still get there in one piece and at least have fun along the way versus get there and be miserable.
Yeah. No, and I saw this tweet not too long ago. Oh, I'm like, I saw this tweet a few days ago, and it was someone pretty much talking about that, like how in the US, there were like someone in the US or in California, they're like, I see them, they bought a new car, and they're working every single day. They're working a job that they hate every single day to be able to pay for that car or something like that. Yeah, and I was like, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, like some people, you know, I'm like, 'cause some people generally don't like their jobs, but they have no choice. Like you know, and I'm like, it's just, I started thinking about it, like, damn.
And I think I saw a TikTok similar, but it was more talking about like people caring more about an image. And like I don't know if it was a car, it was some object, but they would much rather like kill themselves to afford something to show status versus do something that they enjoy, even if it doesn't make them as much money, but they're just happier because again, but also everything's so fucking expensive that like it's hard. But yeah, that is interesting. It's just crazy. And then when you were talking about your manager or your boss saying like about like the whole like time off, and you were telling her like, oh, like leave. Sometimes at work, even some of my coworkers in the middle of the day, they'll be like, I'll be back, like I need to go for a walk, and literally they would just leave and like do a loop around, like maybe they'll walk 2 blocks, get like a drink, and then come back and be like, okay, let's go, I need to be outside, or I need to get away from my desk. And I do that. I notice I do that. I don't go outside. I don't go necessarily outside all the time, but I'll literally be like, I'm like, I just need to walk around. I'll like go to another friend's desk. I'll go to my old manager's office and like bug her, catch up with her. And I've noticed that like that little time away, like not talking about nothing, or just asking someone, oh, what's going on in your area? Like, what are you up to? How was your trip? Blah, blah, blah. Cool. And then like it'll be like a 5-minute conversation. I come back and I'm like, okay, let's go. I got the distraction out of me, and I'm like, now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do this.
Yeah, I'm like, that's something that I should, like, I need to take more, like, advantage of. I'm, like, just walking around, like, getting up, walking around, like.
Bitch, that's networking.
Yeah, and I'm, like, walking around and then walking outside, like, that I like, because I'm, like, there's a lot of my coworkers who they'll get up, they're, like, I gotta go for a walk outside, go, like, by there, we have, like, a pond there, go by, like, the pond, sit there. And I'm like, but lately, because we were talking about this recently, it was in lunchtime, and we were like all just talking about that we're like, guys, like sometimes like during our lunch, we literally, none of us will look around, none of us get up, we stay at our desk and we're all still working. And then and we were all like, the other day we noticed that. So we were all like, nope, when it's our lunchtime, we're all gonna get up, we're gonna go together, we're gonna like go out of here, whatever. And then like, and we're like, we're gonna incorporate more breaks, like now, like we all get up, we kind of look around, we get up, we all just kind of get together, we start just talking about everything, we'll go from like place to place. But we started doing that recently. We're like, no, we gotta have these little like venting sessions and just, that's like good.
Literally, or like plan a like lunch, like we're gonna get lunch off of the campus or out of the building. Or like sometimes like someone randomly will be like, I cannot be here anymore, I need to go get a coffee, who wants
like,
one?
Let's go.
And I'll be like, I'll just go for the walk, like just to get away. And again, I feel like sometimes we're like, I feel like like from in the beginning when I started working with this company, I was glued to my desk, because in my mind I was like, oh, if I'm not at my desk, people are gonna think I'm not working. But this company, they're like, we don't want you at your desk 24/7. Like, we want you to talk to people. You got to meet people. You got to network. You got to learn what's happening in other areas and share that information. And it just makes it more fun. Yeah. And I know that's more so like in a corporate environment, but I feel like that in general, like other ways to like do things for you, going to the beach, going to the gym, going for a run, a walk. Retail therapy is real. Literally, it is very real.
Like, I'm gonna go treat myself. Like getting food, getting your favorite like ice cream, whatever it is. Like
literally, and taking yourself to get a pedicure, you're getting your nails done, a facial, like anything. Like sometimes, I think this is just like the introvert in me. I love, like, I think I've mentioned this before, just being home, like literally my morning routine, do my morning to make my bed, but then I will like lay on my bed with like a blanket, cozy up, and just like watch a movie. Like Harry Potter has been on for the past couple weekends, like a marathon, bitch. Turn that shit on, and I'm just
like,
there.
I'm on it.
I'll like knock out, and I'll wake up, and the movie's still. I'm like, literally, like doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I think also because the weather has been. Like weird.
That was me yesterday morning. I like woke up, I cleaned my room, did everything, and then I just did that. I literally just laid down. I watched like a new season that was on like Netflix. And I was just like chilling. I was like, oh my god, like I'm like I haven't had this in a while. It felt nice.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes like you just like doing nothing feels good, especially when like you've already kind of done everything.
Yeah,
you're like I literally have nothing
to do. Like I'm like I just need to chill.
Yeah, but so this is your sign if you haven't to do something for you, and it's not like oh, but what about this? What about that? It's gonna be there, whether it's a minute. Sometimes I do this, and I think it's because I used to get those ads for like the Calm app on YouTube.
Yeah.
Literally, it'll be like, for this, it'll be like the little timer thing, and it's like the rain falling, and it's literally like do nothing for a minute. Sometimes I do that, like at work, I'll literally be at my desk, put a timer, and I'll just like kind of sit there, watch the timer run, and just breathe for a minute.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, literally a minute, 60 seconds, no pasa nada.
Yeah. No, it's funny that you said that because last week I caught myself doing that too because I was like, dude, I just need to put this down. I was like, I like freaking closed my laptop so that it wouldn't show on the monitor, and I was just there. I was like, I just gotta look down. I was just looking at my phone and was like, okay, and I was like staring at nothing. And then it was funny because I turned around and my other coworker, Desiree, I see her doing the same thing, but she was like, girl, I'm stressed. I need to find a roommate. I was like, and then we got so distracted because we started talking about that. Next thing you know, it was like 30 minutes into our conversation. We're like, oh shit. We're like, oh, whatever. Like it was like, I was like, it just happened. But that I was like, good. I just had closed. I'm like, I was just staring there like, and she's like, girl, you okay? I was like, are you okay? She's like, I need to find a roommate. I'm stressed out. But it's funny, but yeah, guys, take time for you, whatever it is, whatever makes you happy. Yeah. Do it.
Even if it's like, I encourage people a lot. I'm like, take one day a month. One day.
Yeah.
And I typically like to, or I used to previously like to take like either a Friday or a Monday just to make a long weekend versus like a random day off in the middle of the week. But now we have summer Friday, so like, and like in the work I do, I'm like, doesn't make sense to take off a Monday anymore in my new role. But like, and I tell you all the time, even if it's like a day, take the day. Like, nothing is gonna happen. And also, if you have a lot of work going on, guess what? Someone else is gonna have to figure this shit out. If it's really that urgent, like, guess what? It's either still gonna be there, and at least you'd have a day for you, and you can recharge and be like, that might even clear your head. And then when you come back and you're like, oh shit, I didn't think of it this way, and boom, you just knock that shit out, or some shit like that.
That I was telling her too, like the other day I was like, dude, it's okay, I like, that's when I was like, I need to take just a day from work, take it from me, because everyone's going starting like their summer vacation, like there's a lot of people, and then they asked me, they're like, Melissa, are you gonna take like your summer vacation? I was like, oh, I don't know yet, but I'm like, in my head
I'm
afterwards,
always like, yes.
Yeah, and in my head I was like, damn, like I should, and I was like, okay, I'm like probably gonna take a day, and then later on maybe a week or whatever it is, because like you said, there's a lot of vacation time, so why not? But
it's always,
but it's like that, like it's like I'm not that, like, because how I am, like I'm like, dude, I'm like, oh, I probably don't need the day. No, I need it. But that's why I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna take a day one of these days.
Literally just start with one day. One day, and truly, like, I always tell her, I'm like, bitch, you are off. Turn off your laptop, turn off your fucking phone. Like, no, do not look at it. Like, you are off. And it is difficult, but I think, again, because this is the way that my company is, I know it can work. I know you can be in a corporate environment and still have the balance. But I was like, but you have to put in those boundaries. And I've said this multiple times to people. I'm like, if you are always working above the 100% or above your job description, you've already set the bar. That is now your job description. That is the bare minimum. And anytime you fall below that, even though you're technically doing your job description or still above your job description but less than you normally perform, that they're gonna be like, oh, like, you're slacking. But it's like, bitch, I'm tired. I need a day. I need to do something for me. But yeah, but make sure to take time for yourself and make it part of your routine, whether it's like anything to get you motivated. Like, and I think it's also just to change the conversation. Like, oh, I have to go to the gym. No, I get to go to the gym. I'm going to the gym. And also talk about the stuff that you do for yourself, like with the people you work with. So like my team knows the gym is my time. So I will say, like, if I don't make it to the gym in the morning, I'll tell people I work with, oh, I didn't make it this morning, but I'm gonna go after work. And at a certain time before on a call, I'm like, oh, don't you have to go? And I'm like, oh yeah. I do, thank you, bye. And I think if you just talk about it, they'll just know, like, oh, that's something that Melly does. Melanie is gonna be off at this time on this day because she has something that she has to do for herself. And I think, like, and that's like a way of setting a boundary. I think that's another thing. People think setting boundaries is like, this is my boundary, don't do this. No, you can subtly influence or subtly set boundaries with people.
Yeah. No, and when you said that, it's funny because the one day that I missed the beach, my coworkers were like, what happened? You didn't go to the beach. And I was like, yeah. They're like, what happened? You didn't go to the beach? I was like, oh no, yeah, I got home late. They're like, yeah, dude, I know. We left like the office late. We're like, and one of them, Giselle, was like, she was like, I was thinking about that. She's like, Melly's still here. Like, I thought it was weird. But no, definitely, like Patty said, guys, that, like, you know, I'm speaking for myself because I know it's harder for me to do that, but I've been trying to. And like, if you're in that position, like, definitely do it because it's just gonna make your day better. It's just gonna make you feel better. Like, there's sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, just like, oh, like, I'm not feeling it today. But I'm like, no, like, and I tell myself, like, no, like, you're gonna have a good day. Like Patty said, just get up, go, you're gonna have a good day. And then I'm like, okay, today after work I'm gonna do this, like, and I make sure that I'm like on my way here, even if I'm late, I'm like, nope, I'm gonna get home, eat, change, and then go do whatever I'm gonna do.
And it kind of like motivates you because it's something you look forward to. And there's some people that are like truly on their grind and hustle that are like team no sleep, no days off, whatever. But there are days where you literally are like, you have a mental block. Like, if you're in a creative space and you're like, let's say you're like a writer or something, you're like, fuck, like, I literally have writer's block. I can't think of it. Sometimes you literally need a break. And then it just recharges and you're like, oh shit, like, I got an idea or something. But yeah, I'm like, what else do you do for like ways that you kind of practice self-care?
I think, well, I the other thing was, I mean, I mentioned it, but literally that, I'm like, my room, like, and we've talked about, like, I know you're very, like, big on that, like, your room is, like, your safe space. You know, your room is your safe space. And for me, like, I feel best, like, when my room is, like, clean, or I just, like, have, like, a candle on or whatever. So I think because of that, I'm like, when I'm not doing anything else, I'm like, okay, my room has to be nice, and I just, like, lay there. So that's my main thing, just having a clean room. Like, to me, that's just another way that I do that for myself. And then, I'm like, fuck, what else do I do?
One thing I do, because obviously we're in a world of social media, I don't really do, like, a lot of people will, like, delete their accounts. I don't think I've ever done that. But what I do is I will go through my followers or people I follow and start to unfollow either people that, like, I'm like, there's no reason for me to be followed, like, celebrities or, like, accounts, or I'm like, I don't want to consume that. And I think I've mentioned before, like, I've started to follow influencers that I identify with, that are not the stereotypical, like, looking influencer, or, like, she's built, like, perfectly, like, more, like, natural, organic people in my eyes. And also just, like, positive affirmations and stuff. Or, like, on TikTok, I'll literally go through videos of, like, motivational videos and just kind of, like, scroll through and kind of read them, because what you intake, it really does influence, like, your mind. And a big one for me, I think I talked about this before also, is just, like, music. My passions in life are literally dance and music. Like, the other day on Friday, I was kind of, like, stressed because I was like, fuck, I forgot I had a call at 6 a.m.
Mm.
And I got home from the gym at 6 a.m. I was like, I literally jumped in the shower and I was like stressed and it was just a lot. And I literally just started playing music and I just started dancing. Like I had just had a dance break, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I've wanted to dance for so long, and just literally had my AirPods in. I was just like fucking dancing to old school reggaeton in my room, bitch. I was having a ball.
Yeah,
like I was going in,
yeah.
and I don't know, it felt good. Or even like when I am driving, blasting my music, like still bumping "Que Onda Perdida." Like that's the first song I bump when I'm in the car.
Yeah.
Or Amargura. Is that what it is? Yeah, Amargura by Karol G. Yeah, Amargura. It is, yeah, literally my go-to. Que Onda Perdida, Amargura by Karol G. Like when that song comes on, sing that shit with my chest. Like it's just good. And I don't know, it's like a time when like, I guess it's because I'm not being so serious.
Yeah,
I can like let just be like not really care and think that it like feels good.
Yeah. No, right now when you mentioned social media, I've mentioned this before too, but another thing that I do is put my phone on do not disturb. So that's like one thing. I put my phone on do not disturb, and it's just nice because I don't look at my phone, nothing's coming through. And then social media, like Patty said, I used to be one of the persons that just like deletes the app. But now I just don't like look at it, or I don't go on it if I'm not feeling it, or until the end of the night when I'm like finally like, okay, I'm ready to like to just go through it. But yeah, the do not disturb. And then when it's on do not disturb, because as sad as it sounds, a lot of times we're on your phone, I'll just be in my room, either I'm watching something or I'm just like sitting there like just doing nothing, and then I have music in the back just playing too. Like, and yeah, that's like another form of like self-care for me.
I feel like one thing, I don't know if this is self-care, but it's definitely like self-love and promoting it, is our morning text to each other. Like I truly believe like how you start the day, you have to be intentional, and I feel like we do that with each other. We always text each other like, morning, have a great day, and we typically will follow it with like, remember you, like literally the day after, like that Monday that had like the episode went up when I like had my mental breakdown, she was like, remember you are this, you are this, you are this, and I was like, oh my god. But like we always tell each other like, have a great day. Like if I know the day before was a tough day, the next time would be like, it's a new day, it's a fresh start. I was like, it's going to be a great day because you're gonna make it a great day. And like something small like that, just to start the day, I feel like just like puts me in the right headspace.
And like literally that, it's like, because like you're like, okay, I'm gonna have a great day. Like, no, you're right, you know. And that morning you might wake up and be like, oh, and then you read the text, you're like, oh shit, okay, like no, it's nice to hear that. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that I do. I think just like my lock screen, which is like like I just changed my lock screen, whether like right now it's a picture of Kane, and then other days like I'll just find like a quote that like I'm like, okay, like, you know, read this every day, kind of like an affirmation, and I just set it as my lock screen. That way every time I'm like having something or in my head I'm like I just like literally tap my screen and I read that. I'm like, okay, like you're good, just keep going.
Like your friendly reminder. And that kind of ties back into like what you consume. So it's literally, and we had a conversation before we started recording, and what you consume, it's not always like media, it's also like energy from people. So like if there's a conversation that happens and you're like, I kind of don't like that, like do something for yourself to kind of like recharge, or like limit yourself to certain things or people that kind of don't benefit you, or like if you notice something drains you more than it benefits you, maybe you shouldn't be intaking it as much. Or prioritizing it as much. It's definitely a process. It's not something super easy and comfortable and natural for everyone, but it's worth it. Because you're worth it, period.
Literally. No, I'm like, period. No, and then just like anything, like whatever you can think of, like just do that for yourself. Take 5 minutes out of the day, whatever it is, just to like, you know, just do it.
And also like give us ideas, like what do you guys do, because maybe there's something that like oh, I could do that. Like, it's something
Mhm.
small, or I didn't think of that, because that's something. And Melly had texted me and was like, bitch, like, like, I want to, like, what was it that you were talking about?
So I was telling her, I was like, hey, like, I think it would be cool if, like, just, you know, like, to motivate you guys to just do something and to motivate you guys to do something for yourself and just take time out of the day, like, tag us on Instagram and just be like, you know, like, tag us whenever you're doing, like, hey, I'm here, like, tag us, like, El Efecto podcast, like, I'm taking this time for me, or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah, we want to come up with, like, a
hashtag.
hashtag, because truly that's something that we want to, like, promote.
Yeah.
And, like, practice it. And, like, I feel like we're both, in a way, doing things. And, like, one thing, it's like we're both trying to romanticize, like, our life to kind of create the life that we want. So, like, there's so many times, like, we've both been recording stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff just doesn't get posted.
Yeah.
But, like, that's one thing, like, I enjoy making, like, my little mini vlogs and, like, my self-care day recaps and shit. Because then it's, like, I don't know, sometimes I'll go back and just rewatch them. And I'm like, oh, I haven't done that in a while. Like, I think it's time for me to, like, go do something like that. Or, like, go outside, go for a run or some shit.
Yeah, so definitely, you guys, whatever it is, tag us. We want to see it, and we want to make sure that you guys are taking that time for you guys.
Yeah, we want to promote that self-care is self-love, and we're growing and glowing together.
Period.
Okay, so yesterday, obviously, I had Mary Eva's graduation party. I did not feel comfortable. First of all, I did not plan, so I kind of self-sabotaged. I really thought I had more time, but I didn't plan outfits, so I was like, shit. And then I was so tired, and I started getting ready. I had an hour to get ready. It turned into an hour and a half. I had my ride waiting on me. And I ended up wearing something I did not feel comfortable in. So I was wearing my leather, like, blazer. And bitch, it was hot in there. We started dancing. I did not take it off at all. Like, I just wasn't comfortable. Even at one point, I was dancing with Chris, and he's like, take this off. And I was like, no. I was like, don't start with me. I'm not taking it off. But, bitch, I was sweating, bitch. I got home. Bitch, it doesn't have to be hot outside and my boobs start sweating.
You're like
bitch.
Drenched.
Like, check on your big titty friends, because it's summer's around the corner.
I know.
We're gonna go fucking through it.
Yeah.
Oh, bitch, talking about summer. In the summer, what we love to do is we love to go to the beach. I just, like, hope the weather gets...
Yeah, no, guys, we love, literally, that's, like, our form. Like, we take snacks, we go to the beach, and then we're just in the water. Like, like, we love it. Like, oh.
We're just there.
I
like,
can't wait for that.
We could literally be there all... There are times where we get there early. We'll be there from, like, 10 till literally, like, sunset.
Yeah.
In the water.
Like, oh, I can't wait.
Dude, and it's just crazy because, like, I kind of love how, like, naturally we both love the water, we love the beach, and the fact that, like, the idea of this came about at the beach.
Yeah.
Because I brought it up to you at one beach, and then, like, a month later at another beach day, we literally were like, let's fucking do it. We came up with the name, we made the Instagram, we made the email, TikTok, everything, the YouTube account at the beach. Yeah. Which is, like, it's just crazy that, like, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like it was meant to be, because the fact that it was at the beach. Yeah. And that's, like, our sacred place. Our place. Like, I don't know. Anytime I can be near the ocean, like, truly my heart is happy. Like, every time I go to the gym in the morning, when it's, like, really windy, I can legit smell the ocean from my house. Yeah. Even from the gym. And sometimes I'm like, damn, like, we're really so close to the ocean. Yeah. And I don't know, it's just very comforting. Yeah, no, and which is, again, why I go all the time, because I love it. Just makes me happy. Like she just said, the smell, like, even the smell, like, it makes me so happy. No, and then right now, sorry, I sidetracked and, like, I thought, but we mentioned water. That's another thing I've been doing lately in the shower. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I guess a form of cold plunging, but literally, I know Patty does this a lot, but just
putting the freaking turning the hot water to cold at the end and just standing there and letting it hit. Guys, this has like every time I shower, I've done it, and it just feels so good after. In that moment, I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and then afterwards, I'm just like, oh
yeah,
God,
like
yes.
there's a lot of benefits to it. The way I didn't even know that like what cold plunging was until obviously the internet made it big, but I started doing it in like 5th grade because my Miki. So I remember it was like the summer of like 2005 or some shit. Very specific. I was about to start middle school. That's why it was hot as fuck. And I'm the type where like I always take hot showers no matter what. And I don't know what we were talking about. We were like, oh my God, it's so hot. He's like, yeah. He was like, but like whenever he was like, just take a cold shower. And I'm like, no, like I have to take a hot shower. Like that's just, I have to. And he was like, so at the end of your shower, just like at the end, just cold. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna try it. And I would ever since then, every shower. But it would just be like a minute porque no aguantaba. And then once I got older and like I started getting migraines and shit, and I learned that like the cold is actually really good for that. And I started finding out that like cold water in general is just good for your health. Yeah. Like bathing in it and all that stuff. I would like try and force myself like, how long can I stay in here? But literally it doesn't matter. In the cold of winter when it's like 50 degrees, bitch, I'm in literally just like this, letting it hit me all over. I did it today, like all the time, and it truly is. It's good. It like wakes you up. It like helps with stress and anxiety. It's really good when you're hungover, bruh. Literally when I'm hungover, I just get in the shower. That's when I'm just like cold water. And I'm just like this. Let that like literally get my scalp.
No, I've been doing that recently, and oh, I love it. I'm like, I generally, I'll be there like, oh, like freaking dying, and I'm like, oh my, and my freaking legs start getting numb, and I'm like, oh my god.
But after a while, like, you're gonna be able to go even longer. Like, damn, like, and I think that's kind of like metaphorically speaking, like, how much can you like take? Like, how strong am I? Because it's truly like a mental thing. But yeah, guys, if you haven't tried a cold plunge, or even like at the end of your shower, just let the cold water run. Game changer. It's definitely hard at first, but it feels, I don't know, it feels so good. Like, even when we go to the beach and like we just, people are always like, oh my god, it's so cold. Like, they just
gotta run,
dive in that bitch. We're literally just like, we're like, and then once you're in it, you're like, okay, you get used to it. But I feel like that's very metaphorical for like anything. Everything is difficult at first. You just try it. And you figure it out.
Yeah, guys. So again, just take time for yourself.
Yes.
Make sure to prioritize yourself, and again, tag us, show us what you guys do. Let us know. Maybe give us some tips that we can use, and
because we genuinely want to prioritize self-care and self-love and promote it. And don't feel
guilty.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Like, do not feel guilty or don't feel like I'm gonna, like, no one else is doing this. Like I shouldn't be doing this. No, you should. And that's the thing. Like, it shouldn't be like a privilege to practice self-care. Everyone should do it, and it's ultimately beneficial for you, your health, mentally, physically, emotionally. So do it.
You're like, do it. Do it
now.
I was gonna finish it, but I'm like, do we want to add that on here?
No.
I know. But yeah, guys, so we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Episode 22. We will see you. I know. We will see you next week's episode. And again, don't forget to follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download our Spotify video. Everything. I mean,
all the above.
Yeah, all the above. Our socials. And
don't forget about our forms, our Google Forms and our highlights. Like, we want to hear from you. We've been gathering some of the like data. We want a little bit more just so we can get a larger consensus. We'll repost that frequently just so it's like top of mind. But we'll see you guys in next week's episode. Bye. Bye.